Hello and welcome to Core Finance. I'm Matt Brown. I'm joined by Craig Erlam, Senior Market Analyst at Oanda, and we're going to look at the pound and the currency pair cable. Pound against the US dollar. Obviously, interest rate hike last week, but the pound gave back a lot of its recent gains. Technically, what are we now looking? What's forming on the chart?
Well, I think what's become clear after that rate hike was that it was fully priced in. It was a dovish rate hike, so we did see a lot of downside in the pound, but it did hold around 130, 130.50 zone, which I think is important for now. I think there is more downside potential in this pair than there is upside, given what the reaction has been to the rate hiking, taken into consideration. The Bank of England only foresees 2 rate hikes over the next 3 years, and that's assuming its forecasts are correct. I think we've come back through this 55.89 moving average band. We're now testing it to the upside around 132, which currently appears to be holding as resistance. That's also roughly the midpoint of that big candle that we saw last Thursday that materialised following the rate hike as well. It wouldn't surprise me if we now see a move back towards the kind of 130s, 130.50s and another test of that low. It's completely possible that this remains range bound in the near term. We'll wait for further developments, but should we see a break at that 130 level, then I think we're looking back towards this kind of 128, and that's a sign that people are a little bit more bearish on the pound now, because in the absence of a rate hike support for the pound, for the currency, there's still all the other uncertainties, the slowing growth, the PMI surveys, for example, we saw a little bit of a bounce last month in the grand scheme of things. They are pointing to slowing growth rather than improving, and then the political situation as well. Theresa May seems to be in the spotlight every day, and I think these Paradise Papers possibly could just cause another headache for her, aside from the scandal that's obviously occurring in Parliament, on top of the rest of the pressure that's built upon her, both from within her own party and Brexit talks as well. You're looking for reasons to be bullish the pound right now, and I don't mean to sound like the serial pessimist or anything like that, but you're looking for reasons to be bullish the pound right now, and in the absence of rate hikes, it's hard to really find them, and I think the chart is starting to show this as well.
People that are bullish and positive, and non-pessimists of the pound, will look at obviously the sell-off, and you mentioned that large candle to the downside last week, but it didn't break the kind of 130 or 130 and a half level, so there's a bit of support there, and some may take that as a positive, putting a kind of floor under, at least for the time being, under the pound.
Yeah, and I think that's very fair. I think we've always got to remember, I think though, that a 200-point move in a currency is quite significant. These don't tend to move in straight lines. They do tend to come with corrections along the way. Like I say, it wouldn't surprise me if we remain range bound here. I think a break of 130 is a negative signal for the pair, but there's no reason why we couldn't remain range bound while we wait to see things further materialise. As always, we can come up with reasons to be bearish, we can come up with reasons to be bullish. Ultimately, the charts should give us the signals. If 130 holds, even if we see another test of that right now, that we've made a new lower high, so that could be a bearish signal, a signal that's going to break. But until it actually does break, then this pair remains range bound, and we're waiting for those next triggers to give us further insights. And at the moment, all we can see is 130 is held, as you say. But the question for me is, how long will that last?
Understood. And keep an eye on the dollar. If we see some dollar strength into the year end, obviously that's negative for the pound.
Exactly.
Good stuff. Craig, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.